just seems so impersonal. Nothing escapes you. I don't feel like we're on the same wavelength. I couldn't tell you now for certain. Your energy just seems so impersonal. If I say that, would you be
Wow. Once again, here with the Matson 2. My name is Orlandez, host of Night Grooves right here on KDHX. Thank you guys so much for being here. Great stuff.
Great to see you again, pal.
Oh, for sure, for sure. This new album, Paradise, it's great. I love it.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about it. When did you guys start making it? What was the creative process? Where did you guys record the album?
Woo, we recorded at our studio. It's at Jared's house in San Diego.
Okay.
And
In my sunroom.
yeah, in his sunroom. Thank you, Jared, for interjecting there. In his sunroom. We recorded it in like a couple months.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it was a very great process. Not having to worry about booking studio time. We could just do it at our leisure. Wake up and just already be there, have a coffee, and get going. But it's a great experience. First time we ever recorded it ourselves.
Nice, nice. Well, I know I'm familiar, but for the people who aren't familiar with the last thing that you guys did was the cover of A Love Supreme, which was phenomenal. One of my favorite albums, of course, by John Coltrane originally. What prompted that? What made you guys want to do a cover of that album?
Just profound respect and Coltrane's one of our greatest inspirations. And also, I think with any kind of jazz piece, you want to kind of see if you can do it. Jazz is all about creativity and improvisation, but it's also about like testing your abilities as an improviser. And we felt like that was a perfect and new way of doing it. And also not many people have tried that piece, only a few people, and some people like McLaughlin and like very bits and pieces, not even the whole suite. So we really wanted to we loved like what we heard from like snippets, like Alice Coltrane's versions with Rashid Ali and McLaughlin's, but like there's no complete 4 movements that they've been doing, you know? So that was an exciting thing to kind of transplant what we were soaking in and be like, how might they have approached these 4 movements and how would we approach it? So it's like kind of like an imaginative process as well.
You put your own kind of creative juices onto it as well. It's a tribute as well, but it's also something that you put your own oomph onto, though.
Right on.
Sure.
Thank
And
you.
the way that those composers covered it is the complete, accurate, perfect way to do it. Improvisation. It's all based on improvisation. But what we want to do, which was way different than what a lot of people have done, is we used Coltrane's original improvisation, which was recorded. You know, that's the final product that we all hear as a Love Supreme, which was an improvisation for them. But for us, we hear that as the main composition of what a Love Supreme is. So our version was capturing a lot of the idiosyncrasies found in that particular recording.
Gotcha. So it's funny, Jared, you mentioned McLaughlin, one of my personal favorites. The first time I saw you guys was last year when you played, I think you played with Astronauts, Etc.
Right.
And that's like immediately what just got me to you guys, because I'm a huge jazz fusion just nut in general. And I was getting a lot of that kind of influence from you all, like, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Billy Cobham, especially from you, Jonathan, Max Roach, all that kind of thing. Who were just a few of your influences that you had coming up?
You named some of them. Also, another one is, he's a Hungarian dude named Gabor Szabo, who I love. And then St. Louis's very own Grant Green is like one of my biggest influences. And Pat Metheny.
Oh, yeah. Forget Metheny.
Those 3. For guitar, at least. I have many others, but.
Yeah. Jonathan, you?
Yeah, man, I love me some Joe Chambers, Chico Hamilton, and modern stuff. I like Brian Blade and Alex from Bad Bad Not Good.
Oh, yeah. Bad Bad Not Good's great. Yeah, I love them.
Did I say Jeff Parker?
No.
Oh, man. Jeff Parker is, like, I think kind of why I am the way I am as an artist. He's the guitarist from Tortoise.
Okay.
So he's clever with, like, Joshua Redman and all these amazing artists in his own right, but he has such an amazing approach, like not putting himself into a box, as far as genre.
Just musically, just a whole exploratory map that's just the limits are unlimited, basically.
That's right.
Gotcha. Well, Mattson, too, they're going to be playing Old Rock House with Marco Benevento tonight. I'm looking forward to this show. What do you got next for us? What are you guys going to play next?
We're going to play a tune called Darkness Surrender.
Gotcha.
And this is dedicated to Neil Casal, who's a friend of ours who's no longer with us.
Gotcha.
Very jammy cat, so this is a very jammy track.
Awesome. Once again, Mattson 2 here at KDHX.
Here we go. We got one more. Essence.
If I could say something that captured your essence, it would be bucolic beauty that surrounds us. You're so special, you're so easy. Shake it off, sweaty, and jump into the ocean. It would be intoxicating, like the sunset. You're so special, so easy. You're so special, so
Whew. Once again, in studio with Mattson 2 here at KDHX, playing Old Rock House tonight with Marco Benevento. That cut was called Essence. It's the first cut off of the album, isn't it?
First, fourth, but it was like
Fourth cut, okay.
or third
Single.
or something. But it was
Yes,
the first single.
yes.
First single.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the video when you guys were playing that. It looked so fun when you guys were just like, tell me a little bit about that. What was that process like, the whole video making?
I think it was just about like not taking yourself too seriously. We had like, for those of you who haven't seen it, we had like purple shorts on that you'd see in like Magnum PI, Hawaiian shirts or something. And we just shot everything on VHS. It was just like took one day. We just roamed around LA, and it was just fun. We just wanted it to be fun.
It's also just like this idea of just breaking down, being too serious about yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just like trying to show people also like who we are personally.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know us, you know? If you don't know us personally, we're trying to show you that side too, you know?
Well, your music, in my personal opinion, it's very tranquil, but it has a laid back feel to it as well. It's I don't know, it's just great basically at the end of the day.
Thanks.
Something else I was going to ask you about too. So Chaz Bundick, aka Toro y Moi,
Right.
you guys are on Company. Tell me a little bit about how'd you meet Chaz?
Oh man, it's in a lot of interviews, but I forgot my throne at a gig in San Francisco, and my good friend Andrew Painter, he's a great photographer. He said, "Yeah, I got a friend that you could probably borrow the throne from," and I said, "Oh, cool," and it was Chaz. And I didn't know who he was before that. I didn't know his music, and we just met each other and hit it off really well. The next morning when I returned it, we like just nerded out over jazz, David Axelrod, and just rad music. And then I gave him our records, and he dug the sound, and he said, "Let's jam, you guys." So that's how we set up the session with him.
And that's where Star Stuff came from, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, the first time we ever jammed was actually San Juan. We hit the record button. So that was like the first ever time we ever hit any notes together.
Wow.
Was the
Just
opening
the first track on
on
Star Stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I know his live from Trona LP too. I think you guys are on. JBS, I think, is on
Exactly.
there
Yeah,
also. Yeah. Great stuff.
Right on.
Let's see. So how'd you guys get your start in music? Like, who did anybody, like, parents, or did it? What was the
Yeah.
origin of the Mattson 2 now?
Yeah, good question. It was like our mom wanting to keep us out of trouble, so she signed us into an after-school program in like junior high, and it was a guitar class. It was for free. You just had to sign up for it, and we were like the worst kids in the class, like worst ability. And
Could have fooled me.
And the teacher like didn't really take an interest in us at all because he's looking for the star, the next star, like the next person who's going to be his predecessor or whatever. And so at the end of the whole session, it lasted like months. At the end of the whole session, he introduced us to his partner, who's a much more soft-spoken, quiet dude, like just a very introspective guy, the guitar player, who's his other partner, the teacher. So the dude who we were studying with, he's like, "Oh, you're going to be with Chris over there." Like he didn't want us, so he gave us to Chris, right? And then so Chris was amazing. He was like into all the same music we were into, and he just like nurtured us from like building the foundation with technique and reading and whatever, but like pairing that with our love of like punk and heavy metal at the time, and then that which transitioned into jazz in high school and stuff.
Gotcha.
So, and Jonathan was on guitar during that time.
I did. I was a guitar, and then it was cool because our teacher actually played guitar, bass, and drums, all just incredibly.
It's like a virtuosic.
So he was with me in all my different phases because I started on guitar. I didn't like that. Went to bass, wasn't digging that. Went to drums, and that's where I really
Were
felt
drums like the last resort almost? I feel like, because as a kid, at least I remember with me, like I picked up a guitar and I was like, I want to be the next Jimmy Page, and it's like, okay, this isn't working. I'm putting this away. But like, what was your first? Was guitar your first kind of choice? Or
That's actually a good point because guitar was the superficial interest I had. It's similar to, I mean, not saying that yours was superficial, but it was kind of like I want to play guitar, yeah. But I didn't really think much about it.
When you pick it up, it's
but
like,
when I actually sat
this
at a
is
drum
serious.
kit for the first time and played it, everything just made sense.
Mhm.
Guitar didn't make sense to me.
Mhm.
So that was the main time.
Stars
And then
aligned.
shortly after that, we just started. Our dad had a Giant Steps record, John Coltrane.
Yeah.
And we heard that, and it just kind of blew our minds. And that was right when I started playing drums. And we just kind of did our own garage jazz version of jazz music. But later we took formal lessons and stuff and went to university. But those were like very pivotal times where we would just play in our garage for hours, what we thought was jazz, and just trying to do what we were hearing on that record.
Just kind of more on a free form basis of just like improvisation and also just other elements as well. I know you were saying that it's kind of interesting. You said you were like into punk and such in high school, or kind of some other musical genres.
Yeah, we were into like the Clash and Misfits, and we were like hung out. We were like aspiring skateboarders. So, but we hung out with all the skaters. Our brother was like on a big skate team in San Diego called Zero and stuff. But so we were like all into the skate scene, and they were all into punk and whatever. But they're into really good music. I mean, there's some good punk, of course, but they're into other really good music. Like this video called "Thrill of It All" had like the most amazing soundtrack, and we got into music from that thing. But yeah, we liked the energy of punk, and we were drawn to the energy of jazz. But we were also drawn to like the idea that like when you're 60 years old, like you can't really play punk music anymore as well as you did. But with jazz, we felt like it would be like this never-ending aging process of like development where you can keep perfecting this instrumental art, So that was very appealing to us moving forward.
Awesome. Well, again, Matson 2 here at KDHX. My name's Orlandez, host of Night Grooves. So happy you guys could be here. This is like, seriously, bow down to you guys. It's great.
Thank you,
Right
brother.
on, Orlandez.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Stoked to be here. Thank you so much.